Alrighty, guys, it is 3:30. Time for a wrapping up this day. This Friday, February 14th. It's Valentine's Day. If you haven't figured it out yet, go ahead and go get some flowers for your girlfriend or wife. Don't forget, I need to step out after this and make myself useful. Anyway, so market range bound, not much happening, guys. It's just been one of those sloppy trading days, and it's been faking you out, in and out, left and right. So it's been one of those days. It's staying range bound, and at this point, I'm pretty sure we're not going to get the breakout to the upside. If anything, we're going to see some selling going into the close. So I would be anything looking for short setups in this last half hour, but that's about it. Maybe not even try it. So. I had a so far this morning has been kind of rough in terms of getting on a trade. I showed you that before. But on the ES range bound, before I keep going though, remember tomorrow on Monday is it President's Day? I think it's President's Day on Monday. And it's going to be a half trading day. So as you know, so President's Day on Monday, let me double check. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, President's Day on the 17th, Monday. Uh, Half trading day, so I'm not going to be opening a room on Monday. Looking at this basically on started coming back here on Tuesday. All right. So going into the Tuesday trading, I'm going to start off range bound. Looking at this thing here, unless they close below that 61.20s, actually 61.10s. If they close below 61.10s, I'll take off the long bias. Otherwise, I would be looking at buying weakness for rotations back up again. Going into the close at end of today's trading, if anything, I can see a short trade setting up. But at this point, Nasdaq is popping it a bit. So I mean, maybe I'm wrong on that. We'll see. I mean, I doubt it's going to be a big breakout, but you never know, right? The ES looks pretty range bound, and I would probably expect bound to sit there as well. If they trade up above say 45s, I would just stay on the long side. But at this point, starting off range bound with a bias to the upside on the ES, looking to buy against support 61.30s, 61.20s, 61.10s for rotations back up. So that's how we get started on going into Tuesday. Could be going into Mondays, but who knows how that half trading day is going to be like. Looking at the Nasdaq and the bonds, the bond market major change, running right back up again. So yields coming back down, and that means the small caps are going to be happier. That's definitely a potential nice move. That was a little bit too many clicks. And so at this point, I would stay from the long side on this. They are holding well above the 115, the 115s, and as you can tell, we are right back in this low volume area right now between that 114, 15, 16 and the 116.08. So I would say we are starting off with a range bound with a bias to the upside. We have a pretty strong edge here right now at 15.14. And I would say they start trading below that. Look for a potential retracement trade down here to the 115s. Could be a nice short trade in there. But I would look to buy against that level, the 14s, and then looking to get long against the 15s at that going into Monday or Tuesday's trading. So trading bonds on the long side at this point, it looks to me like a potential move to the move out of the middle to the upside. Now, Nasdaq, that has been a headache. I took a couple of trades on the Nasdaq, 3 trades today. One trade, the first trade was reasonably early on this morning, and on the way up, had a break-even trade. I gave it some room and got hammered. So I will also have a couple of bucks on that one. I tried one more trade after this run up here. I figured I had a shot, especially after this rotation. It looks like they were heading higher. I just got faked out. This trade is kind of counter to what I usually say. If you're range bound, I would have looked for a short here, but I had my mindset on the long side of the market, so I tried a long trade, and I again got paid for it. So that was it. So the range bound market, you should be looking for a short setup against this retest, and I was just on the wrong side of that one, so I ended up paying up for that one. And now what happens? And you're wrong, and that just happens. Now, on the way down here, they ran it all the way down here, and then we had a nice interval. So this first rotation up, I figured, okay, I'm not going to be getting on the long side again on this one. And yeah, they ran it a little bit lower, but not much. And then I missed this whole thing, and just kind of looked at it, just kind of ran away from it. I didn't want to chase it, and I figured like, okay, so maybe they're going to head higher. I was looking at getting long again. This habit happened too quick. Again, missed it. I did try, however, when it failed, and it took it up all the way up here to that 2200s, and it started failing. A nice failure down here. I looked for a short retracement trade down to the mean. I got in on that one. I had a good break-even trade going. And no, sorry, I had not a break-even trade. I got in. I didn't never went to break-even, but I ended up fading some heat, and then they ran it lower, and I got out of it. I figured I had to fade too much heat. That's not working the way I thought. So I got maybe $10 back on that trade, and that's about it. So that's it. That's all the trades I took. The three trades, two losers, one small winner. I'm down 66 right now on that. We'll see if anything else materializes. But Nasdaq looks like they're trying to take it higher, kind of diverging from the ES. ES is down at the bottom end of the range, kind of struggling. So maybe Nasdaq is going to lead us higher. We'll see. At this point, it's I'm not going to engage alongside buying at this point into resistance. It's just a shitty trade location, so you have nowhere to go with that. So I would be looking at if anything, potential long trade if they start breaking out on a pullback, or potentially getting short against this area if they can't break it, take it out. But late in the day right now, it's hard to say what they're going to do. So if they start busting this higher, which it certainly looks like they're trying, we just be a little bit cautious about the short side as well. So we'll see how it develops. But technically, this is potentially a short setup right now at resistance. We'll see how it turns out. And then finally, oil and gold. And gold is just absolutely having a shitty day. Look at that, all the way down to the 2890s. Not quite to the 85s yet, but all the way down here to this area. And that's the attractor point. The 85 to 90s is the attractor. Not quite there yet, but it'll get there. It looks to me like gold is having a really rough day. Retracing quite a bit. Look at that move. They are retracing all the way up from the 64s to the 28.90. So that this point is like a $70 move to the downside. That's huge. Big move on gold, big meltdown. So trade that from the short side going into the overnight. Look to sell strength at this point against the I think against the 98, 2900s, 2905s, and then 2910s. If they trade about 2910s, one level above the obvious, it's going to be a potential. I would look for a retracement trade to the upside, but those three levels I would look for short setups against for a rotation down here to that 28.85 attractor area. So that's gold. And then oil looks to me like we have a holding a range bound, but we are net to the downside. So I would start off range bound. I would still keep a bias to the downside. Looks to sell strength at this point against the 71.20s, against the 71.60s. Rotations back up, back down again. Last one would be a 72 here, but I look for short setups on strength and then see how far they can take it on the downside. But that's pretty much it on oil. I haven't traded oil. I just took those Nasdaq trades, and the Nasdaq today was kind of unforgiving. It got me caught on the wrong side of a couple of things, and that sucked. But you know how it goes. Look at Nasdaq now; it's going here. So the ES is lagging, Nasdaq is leading us. And look at that, they are taking out the high. So here you have it. Now they're running the stops above the obvious, running the stops. Let's see what they can do. At this point, buying this high is just a fool's errand. That's something you should not be doing. But if they break out, you may look smart, but technically you should be looking for a potential short here. A failure to take this out, that's the default trade. We have a nice momentum move to the upside since that 12:30 time frame. So there could be a move in here, but I would be looking at if to start taking out this high. I would look for a pullback, maybe to tab it, maybe a reverse retesting this level for a long trade to get in. But buying the high, don't do it. Anytime you do it, it's kind of, I try to be cute about it on this one, on this last trade here. This one was a buying the high trade, but that was a momentum play. This one, in this last trade, a little balance bar started heading higher, then backing off, and I try to get a better trade location, and it started going a little bit higher, and then it started failing on me. So there you go. So sloppy trading until now in the late afternoon. Let's see if they can get some action going here. Alrighty, back to the ES, and that's also holding. You can see ES is just sloppy, holding in at the middle. The Nasdaq is making new highs. ES is just not playing ball. That's kind of feels dead. So anyway, we'll leave it there for now, guys. You have a great weekend. Remember, Monday I'm not opening the room. It's the President's Day, half a day, and then we'll see you back on Tuesday. Alrighty, guys, later.